S4 and the S6 from earlier this year, then you pretty much know what to expect in the Note 5. The larger Note series with its S Pen now gets the design choices that the S6 started, and that also means the omission of expandable storage and removable batteries, which we'll get to in a little bit. As far as design goes, however, the Note 5 does take on everything that the S6 started, with a metal frame and dual glass design, where the backing does taper down into the edges of the lens than the Note 4, mostly because of its material choices, but ultimately it does feel very nice in the hand and makes it feel very premium. Not much else changes in the design department, especially when you consider all of the button layouts, the fact that the heart rate monitor is on the back next to the camera, and really the only big change is in the S Pen itself. Now, it not only feels a little bit lighter, and it also feels a little bit more nimbler, the top part of it does have a clicking mechanism on it, which is very interesting. From time to time, not only to pop it out of its little slot, but also to just click when you need something to do in between your thoughts, writing with the S Pen. The display continues the great prowess that Samsung already has in all of their devices, and at 5.7 inches you get Quad HD resolution with this wonderful performing Super AMOLED display. And underneath the surface, an Exynos processor that clocks in at 2.1 GHz for a quad-core and a backed-up 1.5 GHz quad-core processor create the octa-core package that you're probably expecting Samsung to put in their flagship devices and probably already experienced a little bit. 4 GB of RAM does round out the spec sheet in that regard, but that also means that multitasking should be a breeze in the Galaxy Note 5, allowing you to do everything from multitasking with the multi-window and also performing a lot of tasks with the S Pen. Now, we were told that the Note 5 will come with 32 and 64 GB storage options, but as we mentioned already, there is no micro SD card slot, and the omission of a 128 GB option might miff a few people who really need a lot of storage for, let's say, their media consumption. But however, the returning features also include the fingerprint scanner up front and the heart rate monitor that is on the back, both being touch applications, of course, and they still both seem to work quite well for their main applications. And of course, with the battery, 3000 mAh is the capacity that you'll get in the unit here, which seems a little bit paltry for a larger device, especially when you consider that 3500 mAh did appear in the Samsung Galaxy S6 Active, which is a smaller device. So we're hoping that the optimization go the distance, and we're really crossing our fingers for that. Now, what returns from the Galaxy S6 is also the fantastic 16-megapixel camera with its low aperture construction and optical image stabilization, along with a 5-megapixel front-facing unit with a wide-angle lens. We don't really have any pictures to show you here, but we did look through the modes inside of the camera app, and we did find a few nice additions. On the one hand, we did have a video collage that was kind of cool to try out, but then the main addition that they are trying to market here is the live broadcasting to YouTube that is available. When you go into the mode, you log into your YouTube account, and you'll be able to do a live broadcast stream of whatever the cameras are showing from the camera app itself. And finally, in software, we do find a very familiar version of Android Lollipop here, and the TouchWiz overlay on top is very reminiscent of the one that was already found in the Samsung Galaxy S6. Now, with that in mind, Samsung was looking to improve what is really unique about the Note 5, and that is, of course, the S Pen. Aside from the actual construction of the S Pen being a little bit different, we also have a couple new features. Now, one of them is the ability to actually start an action memo